You're about to listen to an exclusive interview with DREW GALLOWAY. This interview with DREW GALLOWAY is brought to you by Top Rope Promotions Pro Wrestling Super Show, March 10th, Brockton, Massachusetts, 7:30 p.m. It is Ring Wars. I will be on commentary.
Goods picking up JT down in the corner. It's time. Goods senses it. Package stunner. The coup de grace. But Tony P is down. Oh, death by elbow. JT done. By way of Chris Hero to the head of Teddy Goods, and now Goods is out. Here comes another referee now. Are you kidding me? No, 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Teddy freaking Goods. He kicked out.
And worked right through to the show that I just finished and just got to the hotel. So
that's great.
I had a chance to sleep in the past 24 hours.
Well, that's insane. I mean, we'll let you get out of here pretty soon here. I'll run through these questions, and I'm going to start the recording now, just so we get into it here. Actually, that was one of my first things that I was going to ask you. I was just going to say, man, you're like, is jet lag just a permanent thing for you right now? Because this is crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. Like we just mentioned there before we started recording, that my journey started yesterday, traveling wise, and the second I hit the ground in Manchester, England, from Tampa, Florida, I was straight on a 2-hour drive straight to a convention, which I was an hour late for because we were delayed in the air. And I was the last guy signing at the convention, which meant no time to go to the hotel and have a shower. So
oh my God.
I put a report to Joe Henry tonight. I had to deal with that. So we're straight into the show, straight into the match. And I just got back to the hotel now at 12:30 at night. And yeah, I can't remember the last time I slept, but everything's going so well and I'm happy in my job and life, so I can't complain. I've done nothing and I've done a lot, and I much prefer a lot.
I mean, hey, what you're doing is pretty cool. This is, and you know what? I'm glad we got you on too, because I've been hounding you, I've been after you for a while. You're actually somebody who's way more responsive. Sometimes it takes months to get a response from somebody, then get them on. But you've been responsive since a long time ago. We just couldn't hook up, and I'm surprised. I got you on before Robbie E. Somebody had a joke because Robbie E. twice we had phone issues, and it's been like 6 months that I'm supposed to have Robbie E. on, but we ended up getting you first, so it's pretty cool. I'm happy that you're here. I don't know if. And I'm happy that you found my new Twitter. My other Twitter got suspended, and it was like, I'm tweeting people to say, hey, it's me, and they're like, who is this? This must be a copy account or something, you know?
I'm glad we got it figured out. Like you say, we've been trying to organize it for a while, and you know, I'm meant to my word, and even right now, when I probably should sleep, I was like, all right, we've been talking about this, let's get it done right now. So I don't like to let things go. Robbie E. will let things go about 10 years before he realizes what's going on, in general, with anything.
Well, with wrestling to me right now is like almost like the music industry. Like the music industry a while ago, it changed from the big labels. You had to get signed. You had to do those type of things. But now it's kind of like anything goes. You really are in it for yourself as an independent guy. What is the change that you've experienced since maybe prior to WWE and then being in WWE and now, you know, being with TNA, but also being allowed to, you know, wrestle independently as well?
There's no comparison. Like, there was barely a UK scene when I first. There was no scene in Scotland when I first started. I had to travel 12 hours to England when I was 15 to learn to wrestle and start the Scottish scene. So there really wasn't much going on. The big feud of Europe on the one TV show was me versus Sheamus with Wade Barrett as my henchman. When we came to America, I was signed when I was 21, straight from university, as the first Scotsman ever signed to WWE. And I spent 8.5 years there in WWE, and it's only when I came out and I came back that I noticed that the scene had continued since I'd been gone, and people had gotten a lot better and, you know, very adapted to different styles of wrestling instead of wrestling all the same like we used to. And you know, the scene was really getting going, and I came in at a good time with a mission statement of, I'm going to make something of myself. I believe in myself. I believe social media is a hell of a tool you can get over if you know what you're doing in this business. You get this business, and I tried to set the template of guys that have, you know, left WWE and going to make something of themselves, and I'm very proud of everything I've done, and hopefully the example that I've set for people to show that there is a big world out there and the wrestling scene is booming and it's healthy and there's plenty to be done. My brother refers to me as the verb now. You know, to do a Drew is now my brother's favorite expression to, you know, succeed off your own merit and just believe in yourself, and it can be easily done in today's day and age of wrestling, very easily.
Well, with what you did too, being in WWE and the way that it ended there, like with the 3MB stuff, to completely go the other direction, like, and to say, like, look at how serious, like, look at how you can, this is what I can be taken very seriously, and you're like one of the most just believable guys in the business right now, and at TNA and things like that, and it's the opposite of what they had you doing over there. And going into TNA has already changed, I feel like, 3 or 4 times since you've been there. Tell me about TNA. How are things over there? It seems like it's like what I hear from a lot of the wrestlers is the wrestlers are great. We're all having a good time, but the backstage stuff, the guys above, we don't know what the heck is going on.
I mean, I think it's fairly clear to everybody because it's all over the internet all the time. But, I can only tell you from the backstage perspective. When I first joined the company, I'd been doing my thing in the indies and, just being myself, which is a pretty intense guy and a guy that's pretty serious about the old wrestling game. And I had a good thing going. I didn't want to be on TV. Big Junker Barrett convinced me, we're just bringing you in as yourself. You can still do everything you're doing. Just do it on our show also. He stuck to his word, let me do my thing. A few people said to me, why would you want to go there right now? It didn't have the greatest reputation at the time. But I traveled the world, the busiest guy in the world, and I listened to that reputation change over the couple of years that I've been there, to go from, why would you do that, to, wow, this is the most unique show on television because there's so much going on. My favorite time in the company was when I was the champion, and I told them I'm going to take the title with me around the world because I'm traveling anyway. I want to separate myself from Kurt Angle's and EC3s, and this is what I do. Let me be the first traveling world champion since Ric Flair. And I took that around the world. I was good with Bobby Lashley on TV. We were having the serious, if you were beating the crap at each other for real, and EC3's doing his thing, Eli Drake's getting a chance on the mic. The Decay were just getting going, and then you've got Matt Hardy doing the most unique thing ever, and you've got Jeff Hardy on the show, and at that time we just had so many different aspects going on the same show, a smorgasbord of professional wrestling, and that's what wrestling needs, not just 2 or 3 hours of the same stuff one after another. It's just not entertaining, and that was my favorite time there. But all the stuff online, we can't help, and it sucks because that's the part that brought it down.
Well, I'm hoping it goes the other way soon, but it seems like it's always up and down with them over there. But aside all that stuff, if you just watch the product, I mean, people will understand if they watch the show what's going on. They're getting a variety, like you said, and now, you're involved in the Grand Championship, and that is just a completely different concept, almost like sort of like a UFC type of style. It's been done years ago, actually, but what has that been like? That's the biggest question I got on Twitter was like, how does it feel wrestling in a Grand Championship style match? Because you're really the staple for that title now.
Initially, I guess it was designed with, myself in mind, and it was a challenge for me, and I love challenges, and myself and Eddie Edwards, I think, figured out the formula in the semi-final match we had when I defeated him to go to the final, and then I got hurt right before the pay-per-view that I was going to win the title, and I was gone for a little bit, and it wasn't until... Oh, hey, buddy.
We got Rudy's been trapped as well.
Sorry, yeah, but I'm just in an interview right now. If you talk to the receptionist and tell him that Drew Galloway's going to come down and kill him now, because this is the third time I've spoken to him about it, he's apparently sorry to...
Tell him that.
Yeah, so let him know I'm coming to kill him now. This is the third time. He doesn't get another warning. I'm coming for him after this interview. Okay, so we got that on the air. At least I walked this guy downstairs. I came into the hotel and I said, someone's been in my room unless the maid's not cleaned it. And having a very long day, I would just like to go to sleep, please. And then I came to the room, one of the lads came in, he was a friend of mine. I just looked there in my underwear and I was like, hey buddy, let's go to reception, I'll help you with your room. I told the guy, you're right down right now, don't mess it up again. I'm seriously just sitting there in my underpants and I just want to go to sleep. And now we're talking and someone else just walked in. So I'm about to go downstairs and launch him off the bridge this outside.
Did they just walk
in?
in?
Anyway, where were we? We were talking about something.
Oh, well, did they just walk in on you? Did they knock? Did they just come in?
No, he just put the key in the door and opened it. Right, just walked right in. Like the first time when I was in my underpants and I was sitting on the bed and one of the lads opened the door from the show and I said, hey man, how you doing? He's like, oh, hey Drew. Like, And also, these are younger kids, and they don't want to walk in and Drew Galloway in his underpants with an angry look at his face. So I went down and helped them fix it, but I told the guy very specifically, please, buddy, I've had a long day, just let me sleep. And he's obviously just out to get me, so I'm just going to have to go finish him off next. Let's talk about the Grand Championship first before you read about me in the papers, murdering people downstairs in the hotel.
Well, that will be the headline now. It'll be Drew Galloway wants to kill the receptionist. That'll be the headline now.
That's what everyone's going to pick up on. Drew Galloway can't get peace even when he's finally settled down in his hotel room. People are still barging into his hotel room. But yeah, the Grand Championship, I was supposed to win the title, and I got injured. So I missed the next set of TVs, which meant even though I was only out for 10 weeks, it was actually about 3 months of TVs. And when I came back, I won it my first night on those set of tapings there. And right away, I just wanted to get something going with an opponent I can do some stuff with, and I like the idea of wrestling Moose. He's also a big guy, a very physical guy, but also a very athletic guy. So I was excited that we could get something going, and I could put over the round format and just try and make it different. They were just kind of having these nutty matches from what I've been watching on TV with no real, substance behind it. And I'm always thinking, how can we make it make sense? How can we get people to buy into this? And it's been a couple of months now without anything but real substance. I need to come up with something quick. And the first thing I thought of was, every wrestling company around the world did rounds in the past. Every sport around the world does rounds.
Right.
People get rounds in competitive sports. Why all of a sudden in America did they decide to do one long match? When did that become a thing? And I'm bringing, old school back. I just tried to make some kind of sense of it, and that's kind of the route I'm going. And then, of course, when I lose it, I'm going to say, these judges are stupid. It makes no sense. Why would anybody have rounds? Because I'm a bad guy, right?
Well, I love it.
I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Well, this was one of those things. What I noticed is a lot of the successful stuff in TNA, we all criticized at first. Like the first second that Matt Hardy did his gimmick, we all kind of were like, what is he doing? He's lost his mind. And then, when the Grand Championship thing happened, everybody was like, this is crazy. Why would they do this? And I'm telling you, within like 2 weeks, people had bought into this stuff. So whatever it was, it ended up working. People knocked it at first. But I love it because it's such a variety on Impact right now. There's so many different things going on. And the Grand Championship, it's set apart. It's not just another title. So, I don't know. I love it. It's different, and that's what I enjoy.
It's not your cup of tea. You've got something else coming up in the next segment. It's not like some of the shows when you're like, oh, my God, it's going to be the same thing next. And hopefully it's my guy that I like who does the same thing as the other guy, but I like him doing the same thing better than the other guys doing the same thing. Right. At least you've got something different coming in every single segment. And if it doesn't appeal to you, that's cool. If it does appeal to you, that's cool. But it's my job, and I get presented something so unique and different to try and make it work. And the Matt Hardy thing, I told him right away. So I had a promo with him when he just started the new character. I think I was champion at the time, actually. And I had to go watch the promo we did before because I just heard about it, and I watched him in the ring, and I was like, oh, my God. And we had no real time to rehearse, and Matt and I tend to go out and ad-lib a lot of it. And he does all these wacky faces and sound effects when he's talking to you. And I have to keep a straight face, character-wise. So I said to him after we finished it, I was like, man, I'm so glad I watched you before I went out there, or I would have cracked up. It's so hard to keep a straight face, but this thing is going to get so over because I'm already popping for it. And when it gets over with the boys, it's definitely going to go over with them because we're the biggest wrestling fans of all.
Well, yeah, I loved it. I died when EC3 did his parody of it too in that hotel room. They were in Mexico or somewhere. I don't know where they were, but it was that killed me.
Yeah, they were in Mexico. I was in the tour the year before. That's a crazy tour. I can only imagine the long days they were having doing the AAA media where they tell you it's going to be at 10 in the morning and it's 12 in the afternoon. They've only got 3 interviews, but it's actually 6 hours of interviews and you lose your mind eventually. And the show starts at 8, but it really starts at 11. So I think that was around about day 3 of a schedule like that where he finally lost his mind and did that parody. But it was hilarious. It's so funny. Anything he does, he can bloody make funny.
Oh, they've been killing. Dude, the lineup on TNA has been great. But I mean, what do you think about people? Because you mentioned it earlier about the UK and America, and how in the UK there really wasn't as big of a wrestling business. Now it's like they're everywhere. Now you have Americans, especially the hardcore fans, looking for stuff in the UK. Whereas before, I mean, it was the opposite. It's kind of crazy how this audience over here is now searching for stuff in the UK, and the independent scene is on the rise. The numbers are on the rise. It seems like in every independent area.
Yeah, it's incredible to see just because, like you say, it was the exact opposite. We all aspired to go to America. My goal was, right, I'm going to have to get started here, then I'm going to go to the American Indies with, Daniels and AJ and Joe and all the guys that were kind of the it guys at the time. Then I'm going to go to Japan. Then I'm going to go to WWE. That's my game plan. I was fortunate to get signed into WWE so young. Skipped a couple of those stages, but that was always the goal for everybody. Was I want to get to those American indies. And when I was first gone from WWE, I was still coming back here. I was just kind of traveling around America. It was still just me. And then I noticed I'd see Zack Sabre Jr. every so often. And I'd see Marty Scurll every so often. And I'd see Tommy End every so often. I was like, wow, there's a lot more UK people showing up here and a lot more people talking about the UK scene, asking me about the UK scene, looking up footage for the companies that I'm wrestling for, asking, wait a minute, usually we're here doing shows in front of a few hundred people or 500 people. That's considered a big show. What is this company you're doing in the UK that's got like 2,000 people every single month or 6,000 people on their big show? What's going on over there? And then they start checking out the scene, and when they see just the atmosphere of the UK, because the fans are absolutely wild, and they get a taste of it when they watch the Raw after WrestleMania or the TakeOver shows, they get an idea what the fans are really like. Imagine that in every single company that's on fire every single month. And I get to work for these companies, and people want to see that because that atmosphere really makes a show. They go to that next level. Like a really good show can become a great show with a crowd like that.
Well, I've been doing that.
I always say the UK fans.
Oh no, I was just going to say I've been doing this about Impact Zone. I've been upset about the Impact Zone because I know there's a lot of great fans that go to the TNA shows, but there's also a lot of those just Florida people who seem like they're there for the tour, and I don't even know what, they come in, and I'm always like, man, this crowd should be hotter than this. Why isn't the Impact Zone coming unglued for this stuff? Does that ever it bothers me. I'm like 40% of this crowd, 30% of the crowd is into it. But there's like 70% of the crowd, to me, are zombies. And you guys are doing great stuff. If it was in New York or the UK or just somewhere else, Chicago, even in Boston or somewhere else besides Florida or a different area, I feel like the crowd would be a lot more alive sometimes. And the taping, I know it's a taping atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's also a very, long taping. And I know Ring of Honor do it also. It's just the most cost-effective method of taping TV. It is also, like you say, a lot of them could be park goers, as well as wrestling fans who have seen the same person a couple of times and have seen 4 hours of wrestling. So sometimes the match you're seeing might be the person's second match, and the crowd might be a little bit burnt out, and it might be the last match of the taping of like a 3-hour taping or something. It's, it is the way it is. It does save the money, and it does look like a professional atmosphere. But obviously, you do want that fresh crowd that are there, fired up in a different town, and seeing the person for the first time and getting that first time reaction, for the match or the promo segment or whatever. But unfortunately, not many places aside WWE or the UK shows that are only running every so often and not doing TV, not spending that much money. You really don't get that luxury.
Who's the next guy in TNA right now that you'd want to wrestle? Like, who's the guy that you will eventually want to get to at some point, or maybe someone you've already wrestled before, but you'd like to get that big match with that Grand Championship against them?
Good question. I'm enjoying what I'm doing with Moose right now, but Eddie Edwards and I have only had one match ever, and it was for the Grand Championship. And ever since we had that match and I came back, everybody said that's what the matches should look like. And we never had a match before. We'd interacted a couple of times, mostly chopping the crap out of each other, and every time we come together there's always just awesome chemistry. So yeah, I'd definitely say Eddie Edwards is right up in that list of somebody I want to get in there with. And if it's not a Grand Championship situation, perhaps a character situation. I've feuded with nobody more than Matt Hardy over my life, like in WWE and all over the world in different companies. In TNA as regular Matt Hardy, and I've never feuded with broken Matt Hardy, so that's something interesting from a character perspective. And there's just so much with the guys there. Like EC3 I enjoy doing stuff with, and Lashley I enjoy wrestling just from the physical standpoint, the believability factor. So there's a roster from top to bottom that I could definitely do things with, and look forward to doing things with if we finally figure out the contract situation that I keep hearing about on the internet every day.
Is that the one with you or with them?
Sorry. Oh, I guess all of us.
Yeah, it's all up in the air. Wait, tell me about and I know that it's sort of day to day. Impact has changed, but what was it like when Billy Corgan was there? Did you see a big difference when Corgan was there? Were people positive about that? Were they down when he left? What did you see in that?
Yeah, they were very positive when he came in. Very, very positive, actually. He was there for the non-selfish reasons. He really wanted to help the company. He could have just sat at home in his mansion collecting his music money. He doesn't have to be there. He really wanted to be there, and he brought a lot of fresh ideas, and I really got along with him personally and enjoyed, his zest for the business and all his original ideas. And yeah, people got excited about him becoming part of the company and were very disappointed when he wasn't part of the company. And it's just like things like that is obviously stuff that makes the internet and obviously makes people think there's, bad morale backstage, which can be further from the truth. Like, everybody is always motivated. They're just disappointed when things like that happen, that they're getting excited about something and then it just gets taken away, or there's all these negative headlines on the internet. You don't know what's true, you don't know what's not true, and they can't talk about it anyway from a legal standpoint. So, yeah, like stuff like that also sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do, and I see it all over the place too, and I never know what to believe, and I have to reach out to wrestlers, and then they can't comment. But going forward, I wanted to see you, just because he's my guy over here in Massachusetts, but I wanted to see you get in there with Bennett, with Mike Bennett in the Grand Championship. I don't know if that would happen based on your characters right now, but that's something that I look forward to.
So yeah, we actually did a little bit with each other, but we went off in different directions where we finished. I think I may have won the world title during that period, so we definitely have unfinished business. And I think he holds a couple of victories over me, and we never quite got finished. But I was enjoying what I was doing with himself and Maria. He's very, very good in the ring, very good character, and she's awesome. The promo situation, so I was enjoying what we're doing there. There's definitely unfinished business we can go back to there. That's the thing. There is a roster just of so many talented people that if you say a name, I can think of stuff right away that we could do together, or even people that I could just have really fun matches with that have never been on TV yet, like the Trevor Lees and the Andrew Everetts, etc. That I've wrestled outside of TNA, but put them in a Grand Championship match with me, I guarantee it's going to be a match everyone's going to talk about.
Well, the one of the other questions I got from I've got a couple questions here. One from at SF Giants 100, San Francisco Giants fan. He talks about he's interested in who you probably answered some of these before, but he wants to know who your favorite wrestler was growing up. Was it someone over here in the U.S.? Was it someone over there in the U.K. that we don't know about?
My favorite was Bret Hart. Growing up, I liked Hulk Hogan because everyone else did. I was always drawn to Bret Hart, and the way I always explain it, I guess, is because I read children's books and comic books, and I enjoyed a good story on TV. And although Bret was colourful with his glasses and pink and black, etc., he also told stories with his wrestling actions. And I do believe as I got older and I got more aware of wrestling and more educated in it, that I believe I was attracted to his matches because he told stories like I used to read in my books and I watched in my TV shows as a kid. And he was always the one I was drawn to, and always was into the believable style also. And also I got to become buddies with him now as an adult, which is insane. And you become mates of your hero.
That's pretty unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I was same deal as you. I was into Hogan, and then I transitioned into Bret and Shawn and things like that. But I was born in '84, so I think we're around the same age. But the other thing, I had a question from Mikey. Mikey D. He says he wants to go back in time a little bit. He says he wanted to know what it was like in OVW and FCW prior to coming up into the WWE. How was it? Did you wrestle anybody notable that maybe we didn't know about, or any experiences, I guess, in OVW or FCW?
I'm sure I must have. It was a little while ago now. OVW-wise, I didn't get to spend much time there. I arrived in America, and Wade Barrett was arriving 3 weeks after me. And by the time he got there, I was ready to be on SmackDown as the fastest guy ever to go to TV. So the 6 months that was in OVW before it closed, I was actually on TV and on the road full time. Just learning, trying to figure out what on earth a hard camera was and figure out this American style and this American way of life, because I was a dirty student that came from Scotland that didn't know how to take care of himself. So I didn't get to experience OVW fully. But FCW was awesome. That's when I got the chance to actually experience developmental, get the chance to figure myself out in the ring, who I was going to be. And, the trainers there, like Dr. Tom, Steve Kern, Billy Kidman, Norman Smiley, Dusty Rhodes, really helped form the guy I became, which was closer to the guy I am today. Like, they're the ones that drew the aggression out of me and saw something in me when it came to being so physical in the ring, and really helped me shape that. And Dusty helped me, get myself across on the microphone. Somebody that has such a thick accent and talks fast and mumbles in real life, and able to get myself across on the mics is such a, important part of this game. In interviews, on front of the camera, and interviews in media, and interviews like right now. If I tried to do this interview right now, like before I met Dusty Rhodes, you would not understand one word I'm saying. And I still get fired up and excited, and I'm hard to understand. But without him, I would never be able to do this right now. I'd never have the chance to be a guy all over the world. So those experiences really shaped who I am today. But match-wise, I'm sure there must have been a bunch of stuff we did. I know we had some crazy matches and crazy guests that would show up, and I was lucky enough that I was a champion for a while, and I got the chance to wrestle anybody that was in the company or just passing through the company before going onto the main roster.
Well, I know you got to get to bed, so I'm going to let you get out of here. We'll cut this thing. We'll get some sleep finally. I know you've been everywhere, touring around. And some of the listeners of the show actually saw you. I had someone the other day. I said, yeah, Drew might not make it because he's the time zone, and I got to do something. And he said, well, I'm going to that show. That was the Spike, the one they were recording over there. So lots of people are aware of. We've got a great audience here, like in the UK, Scotland, all over the world. So it's kind of cool. YouTube's been a great thing for podcasting and stuff like that. But the last thing I wanted to just mention is, if you have any shows or appearances you want to plug, I'd love to plug your merchandise and T-shirts, and obviously that you're on Impact Wrestling every single Thursday night here in the U.S. on Pop TV. And if you guys aren't watching the show, you're missing out. You got to check it out. Drew Galloway defends the Grand Championship. This is a different style match. If you haven't seen it, you have to. But where can they get your merchandise, Drew?
Where's that place that everybody goes?
ProWrestlingTees.com?
Tees?
It's got to be Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yes, that's the place. Yeah, I believe that's the only place you can get merch of mine. I really got to start contacting them more and come up with some new stuff. I get one t-shirt in particular that I really like that I wear a lot of the time. That has like a lion on it.
Well, it's the same thing.
So I really need to work on some more stuff. So check it out. That one t-shirt is amazing. If you don't have it, get it.
Get it and wear it, and then buy mine, too, because I'm on Pro Wrestling Tees as well. So go over to Pro Wrestling Tees, grab the Joe Cronin Show shirt, then grab Drew's shirt. My shirt sucks. I mean, let's be honest. My shirt is a piece of crap. It's just like my face, and it says fact, and then it sucks. But my one of the podcasters that I'm friends with.
Bristol didn't like that, Conrad, and the one podcast, they've got a new shirt every single week, or 10 shirts every single week. We need to take some inspiration from what we come out with. We put in a shirt.
That's a good idea. I mean, I think I just, I'll come out with a different shirt every week. It's a great idea because you can just keep uploading shirts. So then it's like a limited edition. You can only buy it for the week, and then there's a new one.
See, I don't think I've seen the box enough. My wife's always on me about this as well. I'm so focused on, the wrestling, and the fact I don't really have time to think. She's like, Drew, you make most of your money outside of the wrestling stuff. But, yeah, those endorsement things I keep hearing about from Scotland. So I really got to start looking into all those things. Old Robbie E's always seems to have a thing going on here and there. So Robbie can pull it off, I can pull it off. And plus I pulled off this interview and he hasn't yet. So I'm calling you out, Robbie. Get it done.
Yeah, that Robbie, you're next, dude. Actually, Robbie, you got to get on here, man. It's been 6 months. Robbie got his ass kicked by Grimm's Toy Show or something on his YouTube channel. So, that maybe that's why he didn't show up here. But thank you, Drew. I really appreciate it, man. It's great. It's great to hear from you. These people really enjoy you. We love you. And I think you've got a lot of support, especially, leaving WWE and going to TNA really opened up a lot of eyes here, at least from the U.S. audience. So I appreciate you for coming on and hope you have you back soon.
No, absolutely. And thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed myself. And yeah, tell all the fans out there, it's because of you. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to continue what I've been doing, and the fact that I'm so honest in these interviews. I'm just myself on the mic. And when you meet me in real life, you can read what I'm like in real life because I'm always myself everywhere I am, everywhere I talk. Probably honest though. But I'm always going to do that for them. I believe that Howard Stern's book, just can't go wrong. And thank you to the fans for believing in me, sticking with me, and getting the word around because we've only just got started. And trust me on that one.
All right, I love it. Thank you, Drew Galloway. And, dude, get some sleep. I'll hang up on you now. I'll let you go. And thanks again, man. Great to hear from you.
I'm having reception right now.
Yeah, me too. I'll go. Just go beat up that receptionist guy. All right, good night, man. Have a good sleep. Thank you so much.
All right, bro. I appreciate it. I'll speak to you soon. Take
care.
All
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There goes Drew Galloway, guys. Check him out on TNA Impact Thursday nights on Pop Television in the U.S. Look up where you can watch TNA Impact. It's great. Drew Galloway is the grand champion right now, and I appreciate him coming on the show. Check out his merch. That's the way to support him on ProWrestlingTees.com and me as well. More to come, guys. Elimination Chamber's coming up next. I got to go watch it, and we'll do the review, and we'll catch you guys next time.